All right, welcome to the tutorial and walkthrough for our NetEV college basketball tool. Going to walk through the table, show you how to use this thing, what are the nuances of it, what are the limitations of it, how to make the best bets, and hopefully getting you making smarter bets, which in the long run will win you more money. So, first and foremost, why are we doing this? There are 364 D1 men's college basketball teams. From a betting standpoint, that is just way too many games played way too frequently for the sports books that have great lines for every single day for every single game. So what this means is for you as the better, you can exploit edges in the market, right? You can exploit weak lines where the book may be off for you to win money. And that's exactly what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make smarter plus EV or positive EV bets. And that's what this tool does. So let's get straight into it. How this works is what we've done is we've taken some of the leading industry models. You've heard of people like KenPom or Bart Torvik, EvanMiya, Massey, things like that. And we've taken the data from all of these people who are doing this for a living and combine it with our value framework and our data to make a table that shows the edges. And so when you first log in, what you're going to see are the games for the day. Okay. And so, first and foremost, when you look at this, you have two options to do. You can either just sort through or scroll through all the games, or if you click on the search box, you can see all the teams that are playing for that day. You can type in a team and you can filter for said team. So whichever works for you. All right. So once you get down here, again, you're going to see the teams. So the game, this is the matchup. You're going to see the team that's playing, and this is the team that the row is referencing, right? So in this example, East Tennessee State, all these lines are for East Tennessee State, right? For that particular team. So the predicted outcome, this is what all the lines from the models that we scraped, this is what the combined average line is. Okay. And so what we're doing, the reason we do that is we're trying to make sure we incorporate all of the different models, perspectives, things like that that go into predicting the line to this one final output that you're going to see. Now, this is a version 2. When we get to version 3, we'll have an extra column here, but we'll say that for later. But right now, that's just what we predict the line to be. That's the predicted outcome. So again, in this case, we have East Tennessee State. You can see here we have them as -6 as the predicted outcome. So you go to the current spread, and that's what we think, that's what the spread is right now. And what we're doing is we actually have an API that pulls in lines in real time from different sports books so you can see what that spread is. Now, this is a median spread. And so what that means is there may be lines that are better and worse. So in this example, we see the current spread is -6. So it could be every book is offering a -6, or it could be one book's offering a -5.5, one's offering a 6, one's offering a -6.5, and the median is 6 there. So we definitely want to make sure that you're price shopping. So if you're in a state where you have multiple sports books, definitely want to look through different sports books to make sure you're getting the best possible number. That is the simplest thing you can do to win more bets. Now, if you want something a little more quicker to do it, you can also do what's called an odd screen. We use unabated. So if you use unabated, go to unabated.com. You can use the code BTB for a 5-day free trial, and it'll show all the games, all the odds for all the major different books. So that's one way to do it. But be sure to price shop. Okay. So we go over the next column. It's spread cover probability. All this means is what is the actual probability of that spread hitting based off what the current line is. And this is where we put in a lot of work. And this is why this is so much better than just saying, oh, well, the spread's -6. I think that team will win. You don't really have a way to quantify that, right? How sure are you? We're taking that guesswork of how sure should you be and saying objectively, this is what you can expect to happen given these two numbers. Now, what's cool about this is you can actually sort any of these columns. So you can sort by the spread cover probability if you're just saying like, hey, what gives me the highest chance of covering? And same thing for edge. You can sort by the edge for covering the spread. So when you look at that, again, when we come through here, we're looking for the highest EV games. And that's kind of what we're using to bet. Now, how you want to use this is up to you, what your risk threshold is. You always want to make sure you leave a margin for error, right? It's why we play the game. Upsets happen all the time. things don't always go to plan. But if you're making a positive EV bet over time, you're going to win. So what we recommend to be conservative, give you the best possible chance for spreads, is make a bet that's 2% or higher edge. We think that gives you the best possible chance. Now, again, if you're saying, hey, I want to take positive EV, I want to be a little riskier, sure, you can bet anything that's positive EV. That's ultimately up to you. But our recommendation is 2% or higher for version 2. So you can see here, we've got Boston College at 1.9%, the edge to covering the spread. And so that would be a positive EV bet. Now we go over here, we keep moving to the right. You see we have current money line. So current money line is just, again, what the current money line odds are. And then you have the money line win probability and the money line edge. So same thing, you want to sort by edge and see where the best bets are. Now, really, really important. If you're using this for money lines, I have to stress this. An edge in money line does not mean that this team necessarily should win or is going to win. When you talk about edges in money line, you're just talking about mismatched prices and that a team has a better chance of winning than what the current line is. So let me give you an example. Okay. So let's look at this. We have Rice, right? We have Rice at the current money line of plus 252, and we have a money line win probability of 33.4%. So what does this actually mean? Okay. So if you haven't heard or you haven't seen money line, these odds for any bet, the odds are just a converted probability. And so, for instance, if you see a line where the odds are plus 252, really all that is a probability. The book is saying they think that that team has a 28.4% chance of winning. That's literally all odds are. They're just a converted probability to a whole number format. That's all it is. Okay. So if we say that we think that Rice in this example has a 33.4% chance of winning, really those odds should be plus 199. Okay. So we're saying that they have a better chance of winning than what the book is suggesting. And that's why it's a positive edge. So we say 33.4%. The book is saying 28.4%. So it's about a 5% edge. That's where the edge comes from. Another way to think of it is the book is giving you plus 252 odds, and we say it really should be plus 199. So they're giving you a bigger payout than what they should be. So if Rice does win, again, we only think Rice is going to win this game 33% of the time, right? So we're not saying Rice will win or Rice should win. But if Rice does win, you're getting a 5% higher payout than what you normally should be, right? So that's where the edge comes from. That's how you use the money line edge column. It's just finding discrepancies where the payout is bigger than what it should be, which again means that this team has a better chance of actually winning than what the sports book is saying. All right, so then we come over here to the totals, same exact concept. So when we look at the predicted total market, really all you're doing is looking at what we make the number and what the market currently is. So if we go here, again, we'll sort for the highest edges, and you can do this for overs and for unders, okay? So if we look at overs right here, let's use this game. This is Missouri State versus Northern Iowa. All right, so we come over here and we see that the over has a 0.7% edge. We make the number 133. The market's currently at 131.5. So because we have that edge, we have a 1.5 point difference in what we think the number is going to be versus what the actual number is. But is that good? Is that enough? Is that enough of a difference to actually bet? That's where you see this cover probability, right? So given that we made the number 133 and the market's 131.5, that's going to cover 53.1% of the time. Okay. So minus 110 bets are 52.4% of the time you need to win just to break even. So we think we're going to win more than enough times to overcome the minus 110 odds. So that's a 0.7% edge. So that's a positive EV bet. Again, you want to factor in a little bit of margin of error, but ultimately how much you want to do is up to you. Same thing with the unders. We come through here, we can filter for the under, and we can see, hey, we have a couple of bets here. This is for Marshall versus Arkansas State. Same kind of concept, right? We make the number 148, the total. The market's currently at 150.5. Again, is 2.5 points enough to actually make a huge difference? We think that giving these two numbers, this will cover 54% of the time. So there's an edge there because, again, anything higher than 52.4% is a positive EV bet if you're betting at minus 110 odds. So that's how you use the tool. That's how you interpret it. Couple of really important things. One, for the spreads and the totals, if you see edges over than 10%, okay, higher than 10%, be sure to research that game. None of these models that we are incorporating plus our data factor in injuries, right? These games are being played every day. There's just so much commotion going on. It's these models are assuming you're fully healthy squad. So if a star player or two are out for a team, you may see the model predict a number and the market or the sports books be way, way different. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Be sure to make sure you're not missing a key thing with an injury. Okay, same thing with live lines. Okay, sometimes in here for version 2, you may see games that have already started and the odds will update on this table. This is not meant for live betting. And the same thing, it doesn't factor in injuries, doesn't factor in foul trouble or any other thing that happens during the game that could really affect or significantly alter a team's ability to perform as they normally would. So be cautious of that. Okay. So, other than that, that's pretty much it. This is the tool. That's how you use it. Again, as a recap, the biggest things are using this for edges, being sure that for best case scenario, 2% or higher, but ultimately it's up to you. Money line, just understanding that a money line edge is just a team has a better chance of winning than what the current odds are. Doesn't mean that the team should or will win. And then same thing for totals, just understanding you're making a positive EV bet. Green is good. Red, you probably want to stay away from if you're just using this to bet at its face value. But I can't stress enough 364 D1 basketball teams. There are too many teams, too many games for Vegas to have good lines for everything. Vegas is a marketplace, meaning that people are betting on these games, and that is what's moving the lines. You're going to get a ton of attention on marquee matchups, top 25 teams, things like that. People really aren't looking at West Georgia or Missouri Valley State, but that can be your advantage. So you're likely going to see a lot of teams that there's going to show value that you've probably never watched the game of in your life. And that's okay, right? That's where the value is had. Winning is winning. Now, if you want to use this and you just want to bet on games where you're going to watch it, Power Four conferences, top matchups, that's certainly fine. Do it how you want to do it, but just be armed with the knowledge of what could be a good bet, what could be a bad bet, and use it however you need to use it with your own handicapping strategies for you to win. Okay. Hope this helps. And as always, good luck.